Okay, well, everybody, welcome to the latest workshop that we are running. If you don't know, my name is Chris Hunter. I am the Chief Marketing Officer for roofingsites.com. I'm also the author of the book, The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. The workshop that we're going to be working on today that we're going to be going over is kind of a different one. Usually I do things like on everything that we do, like SEO and digital marketing in general, like Facebook ads and Google ads and all the junk that you need to know, as far as everything that you need to do for digital marketing, on the internet these days. So I decided, we have been playing, and that's what we do, right? Here at roofingsites.com, we play with this artificial intelligence. Okay. We've been using artificial intelligence for quite a long time. And I figured that, let's do a webinar on that. Let's do a workshop on that. Let's show you guys what we're doing, a little bit behind the scenes of what we're doing and how we're doing it, because it is moving at a super fast pace. Everybody in the world right now is using ChatGPT, and that came on as and I've got non-geek friends that are asking me, hey, have you heard about this ChatGPT? And I'm like, yeah, I've been using it since it came out, and I've been using other tools before that. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Okay. The problem. I always start off these workshops with the problem, right? And when it comes to running a business, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to everything, all these things, we have several problems, honestly, and they start with, we just don't have enough time in the day to take care of everything and do everything that we want to do. Okay. So how do you solve that? That's what we're going to talk about today, is using and leveraging the tools that we have at our disposal at this point in time to be able to get more done, okay, with less resources. All right. So, but this problem still stands out there that we just don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to do all of the marketing in our business. We don't have enough time to do the sales and operations and customer service and finances and human resources and just all of the stuff, all of the different hats that we wear as entrepreneurs, right? This leaves us, by the way, in a majorly reactive mode. And it leaves us, if something comes up, well, we have to jump at that, right? If a customer calls, we've got to take care of that. If there's something wrong with payroll, we've got to take care of that. So how do we leverage AI to help us? Okay. And of course, as we look right here, this is something that my business coach tells me all the time, right? If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about how to leverage this tool and this set of tools, and how do we even keep up with this whole thing, because it's going super, super fast, right? The other problem that we have is that as the visionary of our company, right? If you're on here, you're the owner, you're most likely the visionary of the company. You're the one driving that vision, right? If you're so busy in reactive mode, right? Are you actually free to lead your company, right? And are you working in the business or on it? Almost everyone that I talk to 3 to 5 roofers every single day. And the vast majority of them are working in the business and not on the business. And there's a big distinction there, because when you're working on the business, you're moving it forward, right? But how can we use this technology that's out there to assist us with some of the tasks and things like that? So we're going to talk about all of that. And, I want to first, before we head into that, I want to congratulate y'all, because if you're here and you're a business owner, you're working on the business right now, right? You're learning something new, which is really awesome. And so I want to really congratulate you on that you're taking the time out of the day, instead of chasing customers and instead of chasing employees and doing all of the things, all of these different hats that we wear as entrepreneurs, right? You're taking care of your business right now, simply by learning something new. We're going to go through and talk about AI-powered social media, right? Marketing strategies primarily, right? How to use that tool to crush your competition online. Next, unleash the power of AI, right? For email marketing, website optimization, content marketing. All of these things are super important to get in front of more people today and engage them and keep them engaged with our business. Okay. We're going to talk about how to generate more leads using AI. It's moving at a super fast pace, right? ChatGPT was released in November of last year. We're what, 6 months into this thing, and there are tools being added on a daily basis that works with ChatGPT and enhances it. And ChatGPT itself has changed even in that 6 months. It's gotten smarter, right? We're going to learn how to supercharge your customer support, right? With AI-driven chatbots, virtual assistants and all that kind of stuff, right? And we're going to try to get through this. I'm shooting for, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that to get through what I'm going to present. And then we're going to have a question and answer session at the very end, right? And if y'all have questions, it's possible that I might be able to help. Ross is here with me. He's my services manager. He uses this stuff probably more than I do, right? So he might be able to jump in and show y'all something. And then if you stay to the very end, there is a special bonus here, okay? All right, before we get into all this stuff, let's talk about who I am and why you should listen to me. My name is Chris Hunter, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of roofingsites.com. I'm the author of The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. That's what you're seeing me hold right over there. I released that in June of last year, and have gotten a lot of really good response from that. I am a member of the NRCA at roofingsites.com. You can go look us up. We are in the NRCA. We're currently working on our membership for RCAT. We're based here in Texas, so the Roofing Contractors Association of Texas, and I'm working on with their communications director to do some speaking engagements there. So we'll be doing this kind of stuff up in front of live folks. I'm a father of three. I have a 17-year-old boy who's about to graduate from high school. He's an Eagle Scout. I have a 14-year-old son, he just turned 15. Gosh. And I have an 11-year-old daughter. So, and of course, a beautiful wife. I've been doing search engine optimization since 1998. Now, if you do your history on that, that's before Google even released. And the very first website that I ranked was my own personal website on Yahoo way back in the day. So I've been doing this thing a really, really, really long time. Including web design and all the things that come with digital marketing. Random fact about me is that I love to backpack in the mountains. In 2 months, literally to the day, we're heading to Philmont for Scouts, and we are going to be hiking in the mountains for 2 weeks. Super looking forward to that, and I'm working my butt off to get ready for that. But just to keep up with all the other Scouts, I'm on a mission. All right. Everybody remembers the Blues Brothers, right? I'm on a mission from God. My mission is to double the size of 100 roofing companies by 2028, right? And we're well on our way on that. And if you are a roofing company owner, I'd love to talk to you and let's figure out a way to do that for you. Okay, enough about me. Let's talk about AI now. AI is taking over. It's literally, it's going to be taking over. And that's been kind of the talk for the past 4 months, on pretty much every news site out there, okay, is that AI, artificial intelligence, is taking over, right? And it's going to be taking over jobs. People are afraid of that, and I mean, it's taking over whole industries potentially, right? That's been the talk of the town. Okay, so industries like ours, right? Industries like accounting, like computer, like IT, cybersecurity, that kind of stuff. That's the talk, right? But I have approached this from a different standpoint. I view artificial intelligence is a tool, right? It's not going to take over jobs. It's going to help us in each of those industries get more done, okay? And take care of our clients even more than we already are. So I think that that's really the approach that we should take is just to make sure that we've got an open mindset. Okay, part of our core values here, by the way, at roofingsites.com is thirst for knowledge, right? Is one of them, which is why we're constantly learning and constantly, staying on the forefront of the marketing industry, because we have to. Marketing is moving at such a fast pace. Artificial intelligence has accelerated this, right, dramatically in the past 4 months. Okay. And our other core value is to be adaptable because, marketing changes. It literally changes on a daily basis. So we have to keep up. Well, we've been using AI here at roofingsites.com for quite a while. Honestly, we have some tools that I'm going to show you that talk about that we've been using for a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. As soon as it came out, we started testing it, and man, it does some really cool stuff. Okay, but all of this talk about our AI and within the marketing industry, within other industries, all really started with OpenAI. Okay, OpenAI is an organization that was founded several years ago. Okay, and one of the people that helped found it and really invested deeply into that was Elon Musk. Okay, the other one was Bill Gates with Microsoft. Okay, because that is the future of a lot of things. Okay, so they each invested a couple $1 billion, right? And they formed this company called OpenAI. All right. Now, what we've been hearing about really a lot in pretty much every news source is ChatGPT. Okay. So, what is ChatGPT? It's literally like a little assistant, right, that you can use and talk to almost just like a person. Okay. And you can have it do all sorts of really cool stuff. All right. What does GPT stand for? I'm sure you guys are wondering that. Generative pre-trained transformer is what it stands for. Okay. But ultimately it's artificial intelligence, and it's a chat version of that you can iterate and talk back and forth with. And that's some of the stuff that we're going to go over today. Okay. So what about these other tools that we've been using? Okay. Well, we use this one a lot. It's called Jasper. When it was first released a while back, this was one of the very first tools that was released that uses the OpenAI API, right, to do all of the things. And they trained their version of it to do specific things, and mainly writing type stuff, right? Writing blogs, writing Facebook ads, writing all sorts of things, right, that you need. We took on to it very early because it helped us do our job, right? And it helps us do our job even better than some of the writers that are out there, So we have been using it quite a bit, right? So when it was first released, it was actually called Jarvis. But I think Disney came in and had a say about that. So they changed their name to Jasper, right? So when I talk about this tool, sometimes even with my team, I was literally just talking about it with Ross here. I was like, yeah, we're going to talk about Jarvis, right? Well, it's really Jasper, right? Is the name of the tool nowadays. Okay. Chat Sonic is a new one that I'm starting to play with, quote unquote. I like it because it's like ChatGPT, but you can, as you see right here, I've got the little checkbox here turned on to use Google data. So that means that it's hooked into Google and it gets results from now. Because really, one of the downsides of ChatGPT is that it was trained on the data from 2021. Okay, so whatever you type in there, don't expect that it's going to spit back out with data from today. Okay, that might come down the road, but for now, ChatGPT for the most part is not hooked up to the internet. Okay, this is a way around it. A friend of mine showed this to me a few months ago. We've been playing around with it. I like it. I still resort back to ChatGPT to do a lot of things because it does work really, really fast. Okay. Another tool that we use is Munch. Okay. Munch is really cool because it'll take a big long video. Let's say like we're recording this right here. You can feed it into this tool and it will generate a whole bunch. I think it generates around 15 to 16 videos, smaller chunked videos, because that's the way that things are going nowadays, right? We're consuming more and more Americans are consuming video content in the form of short form videos that started with TikTok and Instagram Reels and stories, and it's just getting shorter and shorter right? So this is a tool that will take your longer form videos and split it up into a whole bunch of different ones. Now, is it perfect? No. I'd rather have my videographer editor, right, who's going to edit this exact webinar. He's going to edit it and he's going to create the shorter form videos from this right here. Okay. But it does an okay job. If you don't have someone like that in your back pocket, you don't have someone that can take those longer form videos and shorten them. It's an okay tool. Okay. So I'll just leave that there. All right. So I mentioned earlier that there are lots and lots and lots of tools. There's tons and tons and tons of tools, and they're being released almost on a daily basis, So this is a website that I go to, Futurepedia, right? .io. And this site will list out, it's kind of a directory of AI tools. Okay. I like going here because I like seeing what's new out there on the forefront that can help me do my job better and help my employees do their jobs better and faster. Okay. And be more productive with their time, which honestly, with humans, we want to make sure that we are focusing on strategy, right? And using the tools for the tactics. Okay. If that makes any sense. Okay. So these are all the tools. I don't want to go super deep into all of that. What I do want to talk about today mainly is ChatGPT, right? Because that's the big talk of the town right now. So I want to show y'all how to use some of that. All right. Let's go through a few disclaimers though first, right? AI, it's just a tool. It's here to help us do our jobs better, faster, be more productive. Okay. We still need humans for strategy because you can ask it for a strategy and it'll give you a pretty good strategy. But when you're talking about digital marketing these days, one, it doesn't know anything beyond 2021 at this point. Okay. So, when we're talking strategies, we got to talk about what's happening with Google right now, today, not 2 years ago, because Google changes 650 times per year. So if you're not keeping up with how they're changing and what changes are coming every single day, then, and you're working on a strategy that worked well in 2021, well, that's not going to work, right? So we want to make sure that the humans are there and keeping up with that kind of stuff and spending our time with that. And then we tell the robots, right, the AIs, right, what to do and how we want it. Okay. Here's something so I'm in a mastermind group with 450 other agency owners, and we do a lot of testing. Okay. And in fact, we're constantly talking to each other and meeting and talking about the things that are working in Google and Facebook and those kinds of things, right? We have really been finding out is that AI generated content might or might not be good for Google. Okay. Because let's face it, us marketers screw everything up. We will go in there, we will learn something new, and we will really go in there and hammer it and mess it completely up because Google is going to be like, whoa, 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 everybody's doing this now. Okay. And they will put their foot down on it. So that's what I think. I think that this is very reminiscent of how the SEO industry in 2011, 2010 was. There's a lot of folks that were doing, buying a lot of backlinks. They were creating a lot of content and that was, put into all these article directories and stuff like that. That's how they were getting their backlinks. Well, those that were doing that on a massive basis got slapped with the Panda update and with the Penguin update. All right. None of our clients got slapped. SEO is a game. It's a cat and mouse game. And so we got to be looking at this and saying, hey, Google might not like this. When all of the 90% of the marketers in the world go out and create tons of junk content using AI, Google's probably gonna put their foot down on that one. Okay, so it might or might not like AI. Is where I'm going at here. Social media, kind of the same thing. Facebook, they've put their feet down quite a bit. So we have to be real careful with that. With Instagram, with any of the social media platforms out there, we've got to be careful and not overdo things. Okay, using these tools. And the last thing here is, and if you've been keeping up with the AI industry, They talk a lot about these hallucinations. What is that? That means that when you ask it a question, ChatGPT in general, okay, when you ask it a question, sometimes it spits back an answer that might or might not be true. Okay, so you've got to do a lot of fact checking with your content, with things that you're asking it to produce. Okay, so just keep those things, all of these things in mind right here. So, how do we use ChatGPT to get our job done here at Roofing Sites? Well, first of all, let's talk about real briefly our marketing system. So our marketing system, this is something that I've been developing for the past 20 years. I call it the 4R roofer marketing system. It's made up of 4 pillars: reputation as the base, reach, meaning getting in front of more people today than knew about you yesterday, resell, meaning that you're 8 times more likely to make a sale to somebody who's purchased from you before in the past, and referral. That's how most businesses are built, with referrals, but yet almost no roofing company that I have met yet has a good referral system in place. Okay. And actually has it built as a machine. So, meaning that every single person in your organization knows about it. It's in all of your marketing materials. It's on your website, all of these things. Anyway, so these are the 4 pillars that we work in. And I call this an evergreen system because as things stop working in each of these pillars, so let's say that Google goes away, that would take, we would take out anything surrounding Google and replace it with something else in that pillar. Okay. So if you notice, your reputation is the very base of everything. That is literally your foundation of all of your marketing. If your website isn't converting and if you don't have good online reviews, you're not going to be able to do anything else. Okay. So we place that as the 2 most important things that you must get right to make sure that your marketing is working. I'm showing you this simply because this is what we work with. This is our framework, right? So when we talk about, working with ChatGPT, we're experimenting and using and finding new ways to do things, right, for ourselves inside of each of these pillars. Okay. Okay, so how do you be successful with ChatGPT and of course other tools? Number one on the list is use GPT-4, right? So this is the training model, and when they first released ChatGPT, it was based off of the 3 ChatGPT 3, and then very shortly after that, then there was ChatGPT or GPT 3.5. Okay. And right now, the latest and greatest is 4. What does this all mean? 4 is about 2 to 3 times smarter and faster and builds things way better than 3.5 does. So I would, as Ross told me yesterday, just throw 3.5 completely out and only use 4. Okay. Number 2, use it like a human assistant. Talk to it like a human assistant. Talk to it like a human. I'm going to share with you some stuff here on how to do this, but right, you want to make sure that you're very specific with it, that you talk to it just like you would an assistant, like an employee, okay, that's sitting right next to you. And you say, well, I want you to do this, right? So we're going to get into how to do that, right? With all of this, you got to give it context. It's got to know, it's got to understand where you're trying to go with this. You can't just generally say, write a blog post, because it's going to come back with something that might or might not be, close to what you were thinking. Okay. So you've got to give it a lot of context behind what you're trying to accomplish, and not a lot. And I'll show you some examples here in a minute. You got to give it examples, right? Speaking of examples, you've got to give it examples periodically so that it understands what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. And then iteration, right? To me, what I've found working with ChatGPT is that iteration is key. It doesn't always give you the right stuff the first time. And so you have to tell it, well, this is actually what I mean, right? And refine it and continue to refine it until you get exactly what you need. It's pretty smart. It's very smart, but you've got to be very specific and refine those commands that you give it. Okay. Now, before we get into some of that stuff, there's a lot of talk right now in the industry, about these things called prompts, right? If you've heard of this, A prompt is basically a command that you give to ChatGPT or any other AI tool for that matter. Okay. It's just the terminology that's used so that, we're telling it what we want it to do. Okay. So how do we give it those prompts? One, we tell it the task that we want it to do, right? So in this case, I've got write a blog post. Topic, what is the topic going to be about, right? So in this case, I've got metal roofing. What kind of style do we want it written in? Well, maybe casual, okay? Could be professional. What tone do we want it to write it in? Excited or boring, sad? We're talking about these kinds of things. What audience is going to, consume this content? How long should it be? Okay. And in the case of a specific output that you're looking for, like a table or HTML, it'll write HTML. It'll write JavaScript. I've had it write JavaScript for me before, which is really cool, right? Before, in the past, I'm a geek, but in the past, I haven't written JavaScript in a long time and I'd have to pay someone to do that. Or I would have to look it up and figure it out and spend 2 or 3 hours figuring out exactly how to write the JavaScript to do this little calculator that I wanted it to build, right? It spit it out within seconds, okay, of me saying I want a JavaScript calculator for my website. Okay, so it built this really cool calculator for me, right? But I gave it a very specific output that I was looking for, okay? Okay, so let's talk first, social media. Social media is one of the most frustrating things to figure out of what exactly that you need to be doing in order to engage your audience. So I use this as my first example here because you're going to see here, it's pretty darn cool. Okay. All right. So here's the prompt that I used. Can you make a table for a roofing company, social media posts for the week of April 24th through the 30th? Create 7 posts. Include the date, the post text with motivational roofing tip, relevant emojis, 3 hashtags, and 3 hashtags to attract people. Also, add a column describing an ideal image for the post. Pretty cool, right? Look at this. It gave me exactly what to post. Now, all I have to do is put that into a planner, okay? Social media tool that will schedule those posts out. This would have taken me probably an entire 2 or 3 hours to come up with. Maybe not, but someone on our team would have to have come up with this, right? So having a robot do this for me is super cool. Okay, so that's social media. This is probably one of the coolest things that I had it do, right? Was create this list of social posts for a roofing company. Okay. By the way, notice it gave me some pretty cool hashtags. That's probably going to get a lot of engagement simply because you're sharing it to the most relevant hashtags for that post. Okay. So pretty cool. Email. Let's talk about email. That's another frustrating thing, and not frustrating, but a time-consuming piece, right? You've got to think about what you're going to write about. Then you've got to come up with what you're going to write, and to me, sometimes that takes me a while to do. We've got writers on our staff that'll come up with this stuff, but I've got to pay someone to do that. Okay. What if we could tell the robot, hey, come up with a series of emails for me for this specific case. Okay. So I had it do exactly that. Create a 3 email sequence for this workshop. So the emails that y'all got for this workshop, right? Because I gave it context in some of the prompts above this that I didn't show y'all here, but I gave it context that I wanted to create a workshop about AI for roofers. By the way, it came up with all these topics for me. Everything that we're talking about here is exactly what it came up with, and I agreed with it. So here we are. Right. But this 3 email sequence, right? This is the first email out of the 3 that it created, right? Email 1, invitation. Hi, first name. Do you want to stay ahead of the competition and boost your roofing business like never before? It's time to embrace the power of AI. We're excited to invite you to our exclusive workshop. And I changed the name of that because I didn't like the name that it came up with. AI for roofers was a little bit better, I think. We're excited to, so during this hands-on workshop, you'll discover how AI can revolutionize the way that you generate leads and sales, effective AI-driven marketing strategies for roofing companies, tips and tools to streamline your business operations using AI. Date, time, location. I could fill those things in pretty quickly. If I would have told it the date, time, and the Zoom link, it would have added all that stuff in there. Okay. Don't miss out on this opportunity to transform your roofing business. Seats are limited, so reserve your spot now. Registration link. See you at the workshop. This is the first email that y'all probably got, right? If you're on my list, if you came in through Facebook ads, then you didn't get this exact email, but you got something very similar. I think it's super cool, right? And this is one of the primary things that I've been using ChatGPT for roofingsites.com as well as for clients, right? We can come up with nurture emails, okay? When people first come into your sales funnel, right? It's important to keep them engaged and get them to show up to that appointment, right? We want to make sure that we are nurturing all of our leads that are coming in. So therefore, this is something that you can use right here in order to do that, right? That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's talk about customer segmentation. Well, what is customer segmentation? That's actually, splitting out the different segments of your customers, right? You can give it in fact, I asked it, by the way, you can ask ChatGPT, how can I accomplish this? And it'll tell you right there, how to do that. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to split out my list of customers from men versus women. That's pretty easy, okay? But what if you wanted to do it by demographics and by zip code, right? And send them a specialized message with an offer in it, okay? So if these customers have used you for roofing before, you want to segment out, a certain zip code, right? Or a specific area that is more profitable for you. You can have it do that right here pretty quickly and easily, right? You feed it the information, it'll spit it out and tell you these are the most likely customers that are going to engage on that offer. All right. So let's say that I wanted to do an offer for gutter cleaning, right? Or roof cleaning. Or, maybe it's a slow season kind of a thing, right? But maybe we're heading into our busy season. Hey, there's hailstorms coming, right? Let them know there's hailstorms coming in the next couple of days. Give us a call if this actually happens and we'll come inspect your roof. I mean, we're deep in the heart of storm season right now. I'm definitely here in Texas. I'm getting messages every other day about it. And for our clients here, we're turning on ads in areas that they're typically not in, just so that they can get in front of those hailstorms, get more sales, right? But if you need to segment out your list and you need to run an offer, okay, this is a perfect way to do that. Let's talk about website messaging. Okay, this is one of the hardest things and one of the biggest mistakes that I see roofing companies make is that, and they talk about themselves, right? They talk about themselves in the fact that, they've been in business for 25 years, 40 years, 100 years, whatever, right? And, our customers love us and we do this and we do that. And in fact, one of the, and I'm going to challenge everyone that's listening, that's on this, as well as listening later down the road, do this right now. Go to your website, hit Control F for find, type in we. How many times does your website say we? I bet you it's probably more than you probably should be. So messaging, right, to me, you should be talking to your target audience, right? Your visitor that comes to your website. You should be talking to them in an engaging conversation. So you should be talking to their problems and showing them how you fix their problems, right? Literally. And maybe further down the page, right? Talk to them about how long you've been in business and all those kind of trust factor things. We're part of the NRCA. We're part of RCAT. We're GAF master certified. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Right. And then further down the page, once they know that or think that you can solve their problem, then demonstrate your expertise. Okay. So the framework that we use in-house in every single one of our websites is called StoryBrand, and it was written by or developed by a guy named Donald Miller. Donald Miller is a pretty smart marketer, and he came up with this framework called StoryBrand. Basically takes you and places you, instead of you being the hero, it places the visitor as the hero in their story, okay? And you as the guide, all right? So think of it like Star Wars. You've got, instead of Yoda, right, being the hero of the story, right? The hero is actually Luke Skywalker, right? And Yoda is the guide. Okay, so kind of like that. Now, it's a when I go through this exercise with clients, it typically takes us 1, 2, sometimes 3 hours because they're not quite sure, of what are my clients' biggest problems? How do I fix them? They're not quite sure about all this stuff. So here's what I did. I used ChatGPT to help us with this, right? And I literally sent this to Ross a couple of days ago, and I'm going to show you a short portion of this, but it's pretty cool, right? So now we can use this, and we can use this with our roofers for every single website. Okay. Here's the prompt. You're an expert story brand professional trained by Donald Miller on how to implement the story brand framework on websites specifically. You have a roofing company client. What should be the heading for their header section? And it gives me a heading, protect your home with client company's name, your trusted roofing experts. And I told it the next prompt, okay, create a list of 5 of those for us to choose from. So it generated a list. Okay. Pretty good list, if you ask me. Next prompt, great. Now answer the question. How will it make the customer's life easier with 5 options? Okay. So I'm again going back to that prompt. I'm being very specific with it. And because it's in the same chat, it already has context of, hey, we're trying to create a story brand wireframe here. Okay. With a messaging that will resonate with the roofing company's potential customers. Like I said, this usually takes us 2 to 3 hours sometimes with clients to go through all of this and go through this whole exercise, but I'm doing it literally within minutes. I don't have all of the screenshots here, but I went through and I created the entire framework with 5 different options, okay, for our website. So now all we have to do is just go with the client. Okay, what about this headline? What about this headline? How about this one? Pick one from one of these. And guess what? That now we have an entire wireframe for their homepage that is story brand built, okay? Meaning that it's going to talk to their customers and engage their customers. And more importantly, it's going to create more sales, more leads, because and higher conversions on that website because we're talking to them and not at them. If you think about it and start breaking down some of the things that you need to accomplish, right? And buy back your time simply by saying, okay, well, I need to do this. How do I do this? Ask ChatGPT how to do it. Okay. So let's talk about SEO, right? Search engine optimization. There's lots of things with search engine optimization that is super hard to do, right? One of the biggest problems that I see when I go, we do 3 to 4 to 5 audits every single day of potential clients' websites, right? In their search engine optimization, how well that they are optimized. And the biggest problem that I see with their website beyond the messaging is not having service pages that match their location that are keyword driven. So, and by the way, we've got a tool in-house here at roofingsites.com that we plug into every one of our clients' websites that gives us 400 of these pages. That was one of our biggest bottlenecks as a search engine optimization company. So we built a tool that helps us generate these pages. Okay, so each one of our clients on the SEO side of things gets 400 of those to start out with, and then every quarter we give them 400 more of these. Okay, so how do you do this with ChatGPT though? I asked it, told it you're an expert SEO writer. Create an SEO optimized page for the key term roofing in College Station, Texas. That's where we're based out of, right? That includes H1, H2, and H3 headings. That is all of the context that I gave it. I wanted to see what it was going to generate. All right. It came up with some HTML, right? It not only optimized the text, it created text that was optimized. Okay. So if you look down here, and I'm a geek, so I can read this, but the title is Roofing Services in College Station, Expert Roof Repair and Installation. It created an H1, Roofing in College Station, Texas, your trusted roofing partner, and then H2 of Expert Roofing Services in College Station, Texas. Okay. So this, and then created a paragraph. And then if you scan down, you'll be able to see some more here. Okay. But you'll notice that it created HTML for me. So I can just drop that into a page, and it's the entire page, honestly, right there. Okay. All I have to do is copy that and paste it. Now, is it perfect? Probably not, because it's using techniques from several years ago. Okay. It's not using today's techniques and everything that and strategies that goes along with search engine optimization. However, it's pretty good. You know, it's probably better than what you have on your website right now. I guarantee. Something that I forgot to tell y'all is that in order to use GPT-4, right, you've got to have the paid version. All right. So it's $20 a month. That is a drop in the bucket, right? When it comes to your marketing spend, I highly recommend that. But you have to use the paid version of ChatGPT in order to produce something like this. Okay. So let's talk about some other AI tools other than ChatGPT. Okay. So these other AI tools, right, are things that we have on our radar to either look at and see how we can generate, do what we want, what we need to accomplish here, okay, for our clients, for ourselves as well. Okay, so first one here is chatbots, right? What is a chatbot? Chatbot is, when you go to a website, you'll see the chat thing, right? Well, what if instead of having to have to pay a human to sit there, right, and monitor those chats coming in, what if we could use these robots? What if we could use a robot and hook that up to that chat and it could answer questions? It could answer sales questions. Okay. So I looked at this the other day and I haven't even talked to Ross about this one yet. I'm not sure if this would even work with our systems, but this is something that I found on Futurepedia that I ran across and I was like, man, this is really cool. Okay. What if we could use something like this, right, to automate sales, automate that and at least the initial part of that. And for the most part, people wouldn't know that there's not a human sitting right there. Okay. That there's not a human that is answering their questions, right? Things like, are you in my service area? Okay. Do you service Kern if you're in Bryan College Station area, right? Or if you're in the Houston area, do you service Humboldt, right? Or Kingwood, right? Those are quick and easy answers. And by the way, I've listened to receptionists that are answering the phones for y'all, right? I've listened to those calls and I know that your receptionist doesn't even know the answer to these questions. Okay. So what if you could have a chat bot actually do that, right? And by the way, say, hey, yes, of course we do. Would you like us to send a technician out to inspect your roof? Great. Go right here, click this link to schedule a time. Or even better, and this is what I think is coming down the future is, all right, these dates are open on our calendar and times are open on our calendar. What's your address to send them to? Okay. What if it could do all that stuff? All of this stuff is coming. Okay. It's not quite there yet, but it is all coming and it's going to fit into things like AccuLinks. I mean, shoot, AccuLinks and Job Nimbus and all of those are probably looking to try to develop something that fits into their system, right, already. So it's coming down the road here. Okay. All right. Let's talk about data analysis. Data is hard, right? Taking something, a spreadsheet, let's say, and actually analyzing it and figuring out, right, what do we need to do, right? So, by the way, there's a tool for that, ChatGPT or GPT for Sheets. Okay. This is something that literally plugs into Google Sheets, right? So you can upload an Excel sheet or you could already have one inside of Google. Once you install this, it'll actually work inside of the Google Sheets. Okay. And by the way, while we're on this subject, Microsoft, who, by the way, was the biggest contributor in monetarily to OpenAI, they're building this, and they've already announced that they're building this into Windows itself. They're building this type of technology into Excel. They're building it into Word, and eventually, I'm pretty sure, into Outlook. Okay. So be on the lookout in the next year that all of these things are going to be released. So they've already integrated Bing chat, right? That's what they call it. They've already integrated into Bing itself, right? So you can open up Bing and do a ChatGPT like query within Bing, but you can also do it right here in Windows itself. Okay. You just have to turn that feature on. That's already in Windows. If you have Windows 11, that's already built into it. You just have to turn it on. Okay. So you already have a little personal robot assistant that's built into your operating system of the computer or laptop that you're using. I've had roofing companies that have told me just in the past couple of weeks that we're not going to use AI in our. I'm like, right, it's a tool. It's like saying you're not going to use an automatic hammer, right? To put the shingles on, you're going to use an old school hammer, right? Okay, that's cool. It's going to take you longer to do that than just using an air hammer, right? So, anyways, all right, this is all coming. This is all pretty cool. All right, so let's talk about our next one. Oh yeah, Futurepedia. I'm telling you, if you're interested in AI at all, go to this website periodically and just check out some of the things that are coming out. It is fascinating. Futurepedia is pretty cool. It's got a lot of tools, right? And you can go down huge rabbit holes with this and get lost in all the stuff. Some of it is free, some of it is paid. But if you start thinking about the problems that you're having, right, the things to get off of your plate, I bet you it has a tool for it right here. Okay, so highly recommend that you go there and check out anything that you need it to do, that you need a robot to do. Okay, that you would really like not to do. Okay, I think in the future we're going to have a lot of automation, a lot of things that are going to be taken off of our entrepreneurial plates that we don't have to pay for an employee to do. Right, things like, I don't know, bookkeeping, right? Things like, Salesforce type stuff, right? Keeping up with and following up with clients via text message and email, things that our salespeople just aren't the best at, not all of them. So, just be on the lookout for all this kind of things, that are coming down the pipeline. I'll try to keep everybody aware as much as I possibly can in workshops just like this right here. Any questions? Does anyone have any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself and let's see if we can figure them out together.
Is there a way of using ChatGPT to find the owners of buildings? I work more commercial. I can get their LLCs. It's expensive using CoStar.
Yeah.
Is there a way of using this to get in the public information like Texas Entity here in the state of Texas?
That is a great question. I'm not quite sure. What do you think about that, Ross?
So I don't know if ChatGPT can do it just because it is a little bit it's based on 2021 information. There are different AI tools where you can go in and you can find at least email addresses. One, it's called hunter.io, where you can actually type that in and it will scour databases and it will essentially try to help find different contact information at least. Your best bet, it's a lot of that's all in public records though, if you're trying to find that information. So it's just a matter of finding it. You could always go ahead and ask ChatGPT, see what it can find. It's always a good place to start first, I would say. And, just essentially what you asked us, ask ChatGPT that directly and see if it can kind of figure it out. And as long as anything's public information, yeah, there's definitely a way to find it out. But one thing I would say would probably be I think Hunter.io would probably be a little more directed for something along those lines.
Well, one, ChatGPT is not hooked up to the internet, right? And it's working off of 2-year-old data at this point. So I would potentially, if you don't get anything through ChatGPT, right? Write Sonic is that other tool that it's actually called Chat Sonic is the name of the tool, right? That you can tell it to use Google, right? Maybe it can do it. I don't know. That's a good use case that I haven't tried yet.
And there is like a GPT Go now that integrates with Google as well. Another type of AI tool to where you can go ahead and plug it in and it kind of works with your Google searches as well too. So it's kind of like put your Google search on steroids essentially.
Is there a way of using ChatGPT to write Yelp reviews and make it sound anonymous?
But then you've got to post them, right? And I don't think it'll post them, I think.
And to be honest, with something like that, there are tools that you could put. So, for example, anything that ChatGPT writes or that Jasper writes or anything like that, there are tools where you could put it in to see if it was actually written by AI. So a lot of the problem with AI nowadays is a good example, students, like when I was in school, I would actually have to sit down and I even had to write like papers in cursive. Now students don't, no one even learns cursive anymore. Everything's on the internet, and they'll be putting their teachers' prompts into ChatGPT and getting a whole thesis written for them, and they just turn it in without any copyright or editing. And then you could take what teachers are using now is they'll take that student's paper, they put it into a software to see if it was in fact written by an original person or if it was artificial intelligence. So I could see Google, Yelp, a lot of things like that, because they do audits on any review that comes in. They'll check to see if this was actually written by AI or if it's actually coming from a real person.
Yeah. And to add to that, yeah, there is something out there called originality.ai, I think, that will check for plagiarism, but it'll also check for AI. And it's really stinking accurate.
How do we know? And one last question. Sorry to bother, interrupt everybody else. There was, I don't know, a month, 2 months, 3 months ago when this thing started hitting the internet and started hitting NBC and CBS and Fox and CNN. They said, this chat is great. It just depends upon who's writing the chat algorithm. In other words, if you like politician A or politician B, so give me some good words about politician A. He said, we can't give you any good words about politician A. But if you say, hey, give me some good words about politician B, they could write you a whole dissertation. So not to bring names up, but do you understand the question?
I saw something like that too. It was biased for one party member versus the other. And part of me wanted to know if that was real or not, if that was in fact just the article written, giving examples. It's always best to go in and do a test yourself to see if you get the same type of response.
For sure. And fact check. Make sure that you check anything that it outputs, for sure.
What about Google's version of ChatGPT? It's called Bard, I guess.
Yep.
I've experimented with it a little bit. It looks to be up-to-date information, but not nearly as good as ChatGPT yet. But could that be helpful in getting the up-to-date information you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, that actually might be the best way to go, and it's free, so you don't have to pay for ChatSonic or anything like that. I think that it would definitely be worth exploring for sure. I agree. Bard is not nearly as useful yet. It's going to get there. Google was just kind of caught with their pants down, and which is funny because they're the leader, right? But here's where it's, I think, going to go in the search industry. Is that if Google doesn't catch up really, really fast here, is that Bing, Microsoft's version of search, Bing Chat, which is a horrible name, but it is what it is, with Bing Chat built into Windows itself and built into their browser Bing, right? I think that Google's going to have a hard time here, right? And so, that's one of the conversations that we're having as SEOs in the industry is that, okay, well, if Google's no longer the giant or is not going to be a giant in 6 months, how do we adjust what we are doing for Bing and more specifically for Bing Chat, right? And I think what we are doing anyways is building authority, for our clients, for ourselves. And I think that we're going to be okay as far as that goes. But that's something to consider is that, that's what's coming down the pipeline is that Google they've been shaken quite a bit. And when they released Bard, it was not a good thing, for them when they did release it.
They lost $100 billion in their shares with Alphabet stock just because it gave the wrong answer based on the demo prompt that they did. They're asking about some type of space photograph, and it didn't realize that it used the wrong information. Essentially, and based on that, everyone freaked out, started selling off their shares. But to kind of touch base on that, ChatGPT might be a little outdated as far as the information it has, but realistically, for everything that we're recommending you use it for, that is really a non-factor when it comes down to it. Again, these are tools. Obviously you need to read through everything that it spits out. You need to make it to where it's yours a little bit, as far as, for a good example in this webinar was the title that it gave out. It's not the best title. So we went ahead and we changed this to AI for roofers. So you want to make sure that you really read through it. You can't just copy paste anything on there. And, I've even been playing around with it to where if I know it might not be the latest information, you can go ahead and give ChatGPT the latest information. You can say, hey, base it on this news article, and it will actually read that news article, for example, and give you information based on that one too, because it will go ahead and do it. But as far as default knowledge that it pulls up from, it is going to be coming from some kind of archives for sure.
I've been looking at this thing called Magic Slides with Google Slides. It's like a PowerPoint presentation by Google through Google. And I used ChatGPT to write out 500 word or 1,000 word PowerPoint presentation, stuck it into Magic Slides, and it just creates a PowerPoint presentation with all pictures and everything. It's incredible.
I'll have to check that out because
Magic Slides on Google Sites.
Nice. I tried to use beautiful.ai.
I was going to say Beautiful is a good one for that.
And I told it generally, that I in fact, I was going to use it to build this slide deck, but it was okay. It came up with something that I wasn't too happy with. So I built my own, and that's sometimes what happens is that, you'll try a tool and potentially it might or might not get you exactly what you want, so anyways, that's pretty cool. Magic Slides.
Slides. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it.
And then the other thing too that we have for you all.
Absolutely. Since y'all did make it here, the bonus at the end here is that you can get a free book if you go use the QR code here, right, with your phone, and go to go.roofingsites.com and fill in your information. I'm going to send you an autographed copy of my book within the next week. So if you want the Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers in your hand, this is 336 pages of my knowledge in the industry for the past 20 plus years. I think it's pretty good. But it gives you the exact blueprint of what we do here at Roofing Sites for our clients, right? And all you have to do is just follow that blueprint in order to get more leads and sales for your roofing company. And of course, if you need help with your marketing, we're here as well. You can give us a call or go to roofingsites.com, and we'd be more than happy to take a look at your marketing and identify what's not working with it, right? And then let's just fix that and get you more leads and sales. And of course, because my mission is to double the size of 100 roofing companies, we would love to help you guys out with that.
Yeah, and we could definitely schedule you for a free website audit just to find some holes in your current marketing that you have. And, it's up to you what you want to do with that information from there.
Make sure that you do go to go.roofingsites.com, sign up for that free book. Other than that, we're going to sign off here, I think.
Thank y'all, guys. Take care.
Thanks for showing up, coming up, and working on your business. Pretty cool.